This is a Sandy Boy Productions podcast.
Welcome to Finish Lines and Milestones, a podcast for everyday runners. I'm your host, Allie Bretnacher, and if you run, you're a runner, and every runner has a story. Join me each week as we celebrate crossing finish lines and achieving big milestones together. Before we get into this week's episode, I want to tell you about Foot Levelers. Foot Levelers is the world's leading provider of handcrafted custom orthotics. They've been around for over 70 years. They are completely custom to your feet, so not one size fits all. The orthotics are actually created using a scan or a mold of your feet so that you get arch support that is as unique as your stride. It's 3-arched support. So actually, I have mine here. I'll show you. You can see, well, it's kind of hard to see, I guess. But most inserts only help with one arch and support one arch. But Foot Levelers supports all 3 arches in your foot that creates a stable foundation for your entire body. Proper alignment reduces the stress on your knees, hips, spine. It's great for runners who are trying to prevent injuries. And it's also great for anyone dealing with back pain from daily life, or for, in my case, carrying around young children. Options for every shoe and every lifestyle. So whether you're logging miles from being on your feet all day or you're training for a marathon, Foot Levelers has orthotics that fit all kinds of shoes, not just running shoes. They are trusted by healthcare providers worldwide. They've been around for decades. They have served millions of people that are looking for better movement, less pain. If you are interested in getting a pair of Foot Levelers, head to footlevelers.com to find a provider near you. Thank you to Foot Levelers for supporting this podcast. And Feet Everywhere. You like that one? All right. Okay. And now for this week. Happy Taylor Swift Day to all who celebrate. If you're listening to this the day it comes out on October 3rd. The new album is out. I will be probably listening to it all day just to see which songs I like. I'm also hosting a Shake It Off, get it, Shakeout run for the Indy Half Marathon, which is on October 4th, which is tomorrow if you're listening to this on Friday. And it's the 30th year of the Indy Half. So I'm super excited to be running, also volunteering. If you're local, I hope I get to see you out there. Please say hello. And then I'm heading to Toronto and Montreal for fall break on Sunday, day after. So trying to make it through this weekend, get everything together, probably be super stressed out, but I'm trying to take it one day at a time, right? Run the mile you're in, Allie. Okay, so for this week's episode, I'm interviewing Jon Kuhn, and we talk about the documentaries that he's made on the Prairie on Fire Backyard Ultra. So congrats again to everybody who completed that. I saw that he was interviewing a couple of women that I know participated this week, so I cannot wait to see what he puts together for that. There is already a documentary on Prairie on Fire called Chasing 100 that I've linked in the show notes, and he put together a documentary on the speed project that Cameron Balser did. Cameron was a previous guest on this podcast. He ran around the perimeter of the United States last year. So check out that episode if you have not yet. But I was first introduced to Jon through his work in the documentaries that he created on the sport. And we actually hadn't met in person really until this interview because I literally run past him once and that was it. But we've known each other via the internet for a while. And so we chat about that. We chat about his documentaries, how he grew up, how he started his run streak that is over 4 years running now. And then we talk about more of the content he creates around nostalgic history. So check out his YouTube channel. And then he also interviewed his late stepfather, which we talk about after he was diagnosed with late stage esophageal cancer. And we also talk about Jon's son, Kai, who's 15 and decided that he could run the same distance that his dad had run. And Jon's PR distance-wise is 34 miles, and Kai decided he could run 35. And they made a $100 bet, and I'll be darned, he did it, which is absolutely incredible. So we talk about that. And then we also talk about how Jon is committing to running 100 miles before he turns 40. And that's not like, one at a time. That's like 100 miles in one go, right? So he turns 40 late December of this year. So Alexis, I'm sure you're listening to this and hopefully he's told you by now, but if not, surprise, he is considering that. So I hope you really enjoy this conversation with the incredible Jon Kuhn. Okay, are you ready?
No.
Perfect. Let's go.
All right.
Day 1515 of your run streak.
Yeah.
How do you say your last name?
Kuhn.
Kuhn,
Yeah.
not Kuhn.
I
Does that confuse
said
people?
Kuhn for a long time.
Okay.
Probably because I wanted to be fancy,
Yeah.
but it's Kuhn.
Okay. That's
Kuhn,
easy.
it's German, and when immigrants come over and they've got complicated names, it's like why everyone at
Brett
like the
Knocker.
Chinese buffet is like Aaron, and you're like, you're not an Aaron. That's like, what's your real name? It's like,
Yeah.
I'm Aaron.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was like Kuhn Weizen, Kuhn Weitzel, all that stuff. They're like, you're Kuhn.
You're like, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I should just be Brett Natcher or just Brett.
Right.
Which is what I do on my Instagram, actually. It's LT Brett because
Okay.
there's not enough room for all the rest.
Yeah. So like,
Yeah.
funnily enough, about all the Kuhns being lumped into one, like this is your prefix and it doesn't matter. There's a ton of Kuhn farms and Kuhn families near where I grew up at in Hope, Indiana, and Shelbyville, and I'm not related to any of them.
That's weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a couple Brett Knockers in Lafayette that we're not related to. My husband's family isn't related to, which is weird.
Yeah.
They must be like distant relatives.
Yeah.
'Cause that's, I don't know. Anyway.
I mean, really, we're all related.
Really, we are.
We're all part of the universe.
Yeah. You're really into history. Are you into like the genealogy stuff related to history at all?
No.
Okay. I was just
I mean, anecdotally, we've had 23andMe in our closet for 2 years.
Right.
Yeah.
Cool.
And I was like anti 23andMe. I thought it was so dumb. And I saw that the packages, because I work from home, so I saw the package come in. So for like 3 months before Christmas, we'd be lying in bed, my wife and I, and shout out to Alexis. But we'd be laying there and I'd be like, I think that it would be actually really cool if I figured out where I came from. I'm getting ready to order a 23andMe. And then she would just start giggling. And she's like, you're not going to do that. I was like, I think I'm going to order one right now. She's like, no. I'm like, why don't you want me to order one right now?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I knew that it was in the closet, but.
That's funny.
Yeah, I still haven't used it. So I guess I don't
So you
care.
have no idea. Yeah, you're just like, I don't care.
I want to say I care because I feel like I should. But
yeah, my mom was really into having us do it when it first came out. And so I did, but I couldn't tell you anything about it. I forget.
Yeah.
It wasn't that interesting.
It doesn't
to me.
matter.
Yeah, it just doesn't matter.
Maybe it does.
I don't know. Whatever. So you and I have never met in person really until today.
Yeah.
Which is so weird.
Yeah. It's like it's parasocial.
Yeah. What? Is that
So
how you call
the relationship that people have with influencers is parasocial. I think our relationship wouldn't fit into parasocial because we have communicated.
Yes.
But when you reach out to someone you've been following for a long time, that person doesn't know who you are, but you feel like you know who they are because you see them on the screen all the time.
Yeah.
Or if you listen to them, they're in your head. Like everyone's parasocial friends with like whatever podcast they listen to.
Yeah, like Alex Cooper and I are for sure.
For sure, parasocial friends. Yeah. So we were like teetering on that line.
Yeah.
Yeah. But when you saw me running on the trail and I saw you for the first time, it was like a shock. It's like, oh, this person does exist.
That's a real person. That's him.
Yeah.
You're really tall.
I feel like
I didn't know. I was like, wow, okay.
Oh, yeah. That's a thing, too.
Like
people are like, yeah.
People always tell me, do they tell me I'm taller or shorter? I think taller than they expect, which I think is weird.
Yeah.
You think that's, I don't know. I guess it's like, well, what did you picture? I don't know, just a normal height.
Yeah, I don't know if I ever expect what people look like in person. I don't think about it.
It is weird. Yeah. I think about it sometimes if I'm trying to like meet somebody in real life that I've never met.
Yeah.
And sometimes it can be hard to like picture what they're gonna actually really look like compared to what they put on the internet. I don't know.
Maybe I'm a really good person. I just don't care about what people look on the outside.
That's nice. I like that.
Or I'm so self-absorbed that I don't ever think about anyone else.
To anybody.
Yeah. It doesn't matter what they look like. I'm me.
Yeah. I don't care what they look like. Here I am. We're here. I did not know your shirt was a Rich Roll
It is.
shirt until you turned around and I saw your back.
Yeah.
I love Rich Roll too.
He's we call him Daddy Rich in our house.
Daddy Rich.
Yeah.
That's funny.
And Mama Julie, his wife.
Yeah. That's great.
He will never see this, but God, if he ever did, I would be so embarrassed if I ever met him. And then Alexis was like, tell him that you call him Daddy.
And he'd probably be like, cool, man.
Yeah. I went through a phase for a while where I would tag and talk about Alexis, talking about how he was handsome, and I would tag him.
Yeah.
And a couple times he replied to it.
Yeah.
And I got so nervous because he's the parasocial person reaching out to me.
Yeah. And you're like, whoa. Is this you or is it like somebody in your office?
He's like, you're all good, man. I'll stay away.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, well, maybe he thinks I'm being aggressive.
No.
I'm overthinking.
So
See, that's
funny.
the kind of stuff I overthink about. Not what someone looks like, what someone thinks about me. That's not good. You're not my therapist.
Everybody overthinks that.
Yeah.
Probably. Yeah. I don't know. I have my therapy after this, actually.
Good. Yeah, when I'm talking about like how I come across to people and someone's like, you shouldn't think about yourself so much. I'm like, you're a liar because everyone thinks about that because we all have that inherent fear of being excommunicated or like removed from the tribe. Women more so than men because of conspiratorial bullying, but that's a whole other rabbit hole.
Yeah, that is. I love the phrase, no one cares. You've probably seen me share that.
Yeah.
And that's why people are always thinking about themselves. So who cares? Nobody cares.
Yeah.
At all about what you're doing, nobody cares. They're just thinking about themselves, which is kind of freeing in a way.
Yeah.
Because you don't have to worry about it,
Yeah,
which is
for
nice.
Sure. Yeah. I say that before I post YouTube videos. I'll be like, no one actually cares.
Right.
That knows me. People will tell you what they think about you on the
Sure.
internet, but mostly not.
Well, and that's when you've like started to make it, right? When the trolls come out.
Yeah.
And I haven't gotten a lot of that yet. So I'm like, okay, I haven't done enough yet.
Yeah.
Or the people are coming for me.
Be careful what you wish for.
I am worried about that a little because I do care.
Yeah.
Even though I try not to.
Just delete it.
Yeah.
You should always just delete it.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
I just wish I could do that without even reading it.
Yeah.
Like settings on Instagram that says like if it's negative, just delete it before I can even read it, please.
You can filter out certain words.
Yes,
yeah.
Anyway, so we've met in passing.
Yeah.
Running. Was I alone or was it with my friend Becky?
You were with a friend. I don't know if it was Becky.
It was probably Becky. Shout out to Becky, who we met through this podcast. I interviewed her running coach who lives in California. And she was like, I live in Westfield.
Yeah.
So just wild, small world thing. And now we're doing our second marathon training season together, which is funny. So we were out, I'd map runs just for whatever reason, like to be a little different. I don't like running the same route all the time, although I do that a lot. And so that's why we were over.
I'm like that with driving too. Anyway, so you're over by.
Yeah, so I was over by, is that your neck of the woods over there?
Yeah.
Where do you live?
I tell people I live in Oak Manor, but really I live in the villages of Oak Manor.
Okay.
Because when you say Oak Manor, they're like, oh my
Whoa,
gosh.
Fancy man.
You must be crushing it in the video world. I'm like, oh yeah.
You're like, well, let me tell you.
But really, my wife makes way more money than I do. And we live in the villages of Oak Manor.
Okay.
Which is like the subsidiary of the nice neighborhood.
Which is great.
Which is still a great neighborhood. But our kids are like, oh, we're the poor people in Westfield. It's like, you guys are ridiculous.
That's a whole other thing too.
It is a whole other thing.
Oh yeah. My kids didn't want to go to the country club pool because it was too warm. The water was too warm. I was like, you guys have no idea.
Best problems.
So yeah.
The best problems.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So okay. So we're kind of neighbors. We don't live too far apart.
Yeah.
So, but we've now finally met. It's crazy. I've seen your documentary.
Mm-hmm.
Both of them.
Okay.
So I've seen the Cameron Balzer one.
Okay.
That one's called what? Finding Ultra?
Ultra Team Sport.
Ultra Team Sport.
Yeah.
Mess it up. And then Chasing 100, which is about Prairie on Fire.
Yeah.
Both amazing.
Thank you.
I mean, just incredible work.
Yeah. I appreciate you saying that. I'm weird about compliments. I used to think that I would want people to compliment me all the time.
Yeah.
Obviously, I know I have some skill set that I'm like using to be of service, but especially with Cameron, not especially with Cameron, but with Cameron and all the runners, the stories are just there, and I feel like I'm just witnessing it happen. So like I feel like I have very little to do with it. I know I make the decisions on editing and stuff, but yeah, I'm very grateful to be a part of that world.
That had to be such a crazy journey with Cameron in particular. How did you meet him?
Kind of periphery. He was someone that existed, and I saw him at Prairie on Fire the first time.
Okay.
When I started on my journey to become a not fat dad, and I ran a marathon in 2020. All the marathons were canceled, I think. So I ran my own marathon to raise money for a local community leader. And Scotty Banks is an Orange Theory coach. Shout out, Scotty. I'm going to shout out everybody.
I like it. Then maybe they'll all listen. He'd be like, I shouted you out. Now you have to go watch or listen to it.
But Scotty and a lady named Molly Bruner, and then someone else. I can't remember her name. Sorry, not shout out.
Insert. I'll edit it really well with like.
Katie. It was Katie. Molly, Katie, Scotty.
Was it Katie Watchell or is that?
I don't know.
She's an Orange Theory. Anyway.
Yeah. Anyway, so they ran a marathon with me. My first marathon. Ran it like just like kind of by myself. We did our own course. We went out to Fort Harrison and did this like crazy like BMX trail loop.
Wow.
Right?
So hard.
So Scotty and I became friends and bonded over that. We randomly met after I was his server for a long time at parasocial, and then I was looking to buy a piece of camera equipment, went to meet this guy off Facebook Marketplace. I was like, oh, you're the frittata guy, egg whites. He's like, yeah, you're the guy that wore a kilt at parasocial. I was like, yeah. So we became internet friends. And then in 2020, I was like, hey, I'm going to run this marathon to raise money, blah, 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 doing this community leader, like documentary thing, mini doc. And Scotty instantly was like, I'm down, let's do it. So I was like, I put myself on the hook. Now I have to do this thing. So Scotty and I became friends and bonded over that. He did Prairie on Fire, and I went and took some pictures of Scotty the first time we did Prairie on Fire. And I took pictures of Molly and a few other people in the tent. And Scotty said to me, you should get pictures of the blonde lady over there. And it's Christy D.
Oh, yep.
I got some pictures of Christy, and I sent out the pictures just as like a way to be like, hey, I'm going to support you guys because you supported me. And then fast forward like a year later, Christy emailed me and said, hey, we need someone to do photos for Prairie on Fire. And I said, yeah, let's meet up. Let's talk. TJ Daly, founder of Meshingo Mesa Track Club, was in this meeting. And right off the jump, I was like, hey, look, I don't do photography. Like I will if you want me to, because I like to make money. But I do video. And this is what I would do with your guy, Cameron. He's running around the country and not a lot of people are following him. And I think more people should know who he is. And I pitched the idea. And then a few days later, TJ emailed me and said, hey, do you want to go film this race called the Speed Project? I was like, awesome. When is it? He said, next week.
Oh my gosh, no way.
So I had to be like, hey, Alexis, I'm going to go. My wife, Alexis, shout out Alexis. I was like, I'm going to go to LA. She's like, when? I was like, Monday. She's like, well, it's Thursday. I was like, yeah, but you got the kids, right? So like super awesome that she said yes to that.
That is amazing.
Landed in LA, went to Santa Monica. And then my hands, we filmed the race for like 5 days. My hands had cracks all on them from holding a camera for 5 days straight.
I bet.
It was wild.
Yeah, it's like, I wonder what's harder, holding the camera or running 300 miles.
Yeah, definitely running.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah, definitely running.
Yeah, but they things you don't think about for like doing the endurance filming part of it.
Yeah.
No blisters though, just cracked.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Blisters, something.
Yeah, something.
Yeah, I felt weird for a while afterwards. You don't sleep really. I slept for like 4 hours.
Oh my God.
But again, I hesitate to, like, as you just said, someone was running 300 miles. So it's like, who am I to complain about being a little tired?
Yeah, but it's still hard what you're doing too. I know, but it is funny. You're like, okay, to put it in perspective, I'm not running at all here.
Yeah.
Or did you like run alongside him?
No, I did.
Yeah.
There's a scene where Cam has a dog attack him. I was the one running with him then.
Right. That was really scary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was the first time I paced him too. They were like, let's go. They were like, go pace Cam. And the whole time I was like, I don't want to be a pacer because to me that feels like selfish because I really want to do that. And I feel like my job is to film him as he's coming into stops or whatever. And then his mom was like, hey, you should go like run with him. Like you should get to know him.
Yeah, that's a good call.
And then I listened to his mom and then I almost got attacked by it. Well, I did get attacked by a dog.
And then you almost died. Yeah.
But he didn't bite us or anything. So
right.
Like,
How long did that dog follow you?
It's like a minute or two.
Probably felt like longer.
Felt like, yeah.
Yeah.
That's when I knew, I was like, I think I'm a real filmmaker or a real documentary filmmaker because when the dog started running up, I instantly pulled out my phone and like filmed it horizontally.
Yeah.
And I was like, if he's going to bite me, I have to have it recorded.
Right.
Yeah.
Of course.
And the whole time I was like trying to like frame up the shot where I'm like trying to like, do I protect Cam? Because if I protect Cam, he's not in frame. And yeah.
The thinking again.
Yeah.
I love it. You're like, okay, how am I? Yeah, I got to make sure I get this right. There's this video.
Instinctively just.
There's this video of this photographer it's a surprise engagement. And the first thing she does when she realizes that it's her engagement is she takes her phones out of her pocket and throws them on the ground because she doesn't want them to be in the pictures and in the video. And I was like, that's a professional right there.
Yeah.
So just like you, reaching for your phone, got to get it on camera.
Yeah.
So let's go back to Fat Dad.
Fat Dad.
Let's take it back.
Okay.
So you grew up in Hope, Indiana.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Do you have siblings?
Yeah. I have a brother and a sister.
Okay.
Full-fledged brother. Full-fledged sister, but biologically she's my half-sister.
Okay. Yeah. And are they older or younger? Where do you fall?
Younger. I'm the eldest, yeah.
Okay, I'm the oldest as well.
Yeah.
Of three. So that makes sense. We probably have a lot more in common then with the overthinking. Are you a rule follower?
If I think it's a good rule.
Yeah, that's fair. Me too, actually.
Yeah.
Because
if I think it's a dumb rule, then no.
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
Okay, so you grew up, did you play sports?
A little bit. Yeah, I played sports until like 9th grade.
Okay.
Basketball, baseball.
Kind of like the normal Indiana kid stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you cuss on this podcast?
Yeah, you can say whatever you want.
So I grew up in a really small Indiana farm town, like 2,000 people as a population. There's not a stoplight.
Okay.
And
there's not even a stoplight.
There's not even a stoplight. And I grew up in Indianapolis, and my mom taught me to like love everyone and to like be free thinking, something that she regrets constantly because she's like, just shut up, John. Like, it's okay. Just go with it. But I, for some reason, had this like progressive ideology and was like kind of like an emo punk kid living in this like small farm town.
Oh, man.
Didn't go over super great. I was also annoying to like, in their defense, the people that tortured me basically. But my nickname in high school, starting in middle school and through high school, and still to this day in that town is Cat Fucker.
Oh. Please explain.
I did not have sex with a cat.
That's good to know.
That is not why they called me that.
Okay.
It's a good nickname and kids are terrible.
Yeah.
My brother told people that I did. So someone heard this, and then, we're playing basketball at the neighbor's house, middle of summer afternoon, and I was making fun of my brother for being chubby, and he's like, yeah, you had sex with our cat. And I was like, that's not true. And then everyone didn't hear the part where I said that's not true or didn't care. So then coon cat fucker. Cat fucker was the one that was used most often, but coon cat became like the thing that they would say when there was adults around.
Oh, so they'd be like,
Yeah. So they self-censored. So that's good. They felt a little bit of like the pressure of like supervision or whatever, or authority.
Yeah.
But we go to a baseball game that night, and my buddy, who's the catcher that was also playing basketball with us that day, told the coaches that I was cat fucker. And the coaches started calling me cat fucker. And the girl that I had a crush on, shout out to Jessica. I don't know if it was Jessica, but maybe Jessica. Don't worry, Alexis. I don't follow her on any social platforms. But Jessica, I could see the moment where she was like into me or the idea of me. And then she heard that I was into bestiality, and allegedly. And the turn and the get up and the walk away and the never to sit in that spot on the bench again. It was a very lonely night on the mound as cat fucker. And, even like when I was like 20 years old, I was probably 24, 23, because I had my son with me. And I was like pumping gas, and someone yells across like the Huck's parking lot, cat fucker.
And you're like, yeah, that's me. Great.
So that's the backstory of high school stuff. And that's why I quit playing sports. And then, so from the beginning of cat fucker day one, and then quitting sports up until like 30 some years old, never went to a gym. Okay. Didn't even step foot inside of a gym. Didn't run or work out one time.
Okay.
Maybe I tried P90X one time when I was 28 and went too hard and hurt myself.
Okay.
Yeah.
When did you become a dad?
When, to my knowledge, for the first time when I was like 23, 22.
Okay. Yeah. Because you were saying and I was like, okay, you were a young dad.
Yeah. Young dad. I went on this like walkabout after high school to find myself and to prove people wrong. I'm not cat fucker. But I kind of worked odd jobs, didn't go to college, and then got into some drugs, got into some of the stuff that you do when you're like doing a walkabout, I guess. And then kind of like became this like traveling nomad, like hippie guy for like 3 or 4 years. Met a lady in San Francisco when I was living in a van with a guy named Shameless John, and then told the girl I was going to Florida. I was on my way. That wasn't true, but I did end up taking her home, and then we made a beautiful baby together.
And so where does your beautiful baby live now?
I'm realizing there's not a lot of exposition for this. I'm just diving into it. My son lives with me.
Awesome.
Yeah.
How old is he?
He's 15.
Yeah, so he's the one that just, okay, we'll talk about that in a minute.
Yeah.
Because, dear Lord.
Yeah, so I had this like crazy, like drug-fueled Hunter S. Thompson, Jack Kerouac walkabout.
God, and you lived in a van?
Lived in a van, lived in a car, lived in a teepee in the mountains in Oregon.
Cool.
That
doesn't sound that fun.
Allegedly sold psychedelic drugs and like participated in this like festival circuit, joined a cult, Rainbow Family Living Light, did all that stuff. Got it all out of the way, right?
Okay.
Just like you do, right?
Just
Everyone
like
does
you do.
that, right? Everyone does that.
Just looked a little different, but
yeah.
did something similar.
Yeah. Everyone does that. So then have the baby. I decided to start straightening my life up, kind of, compared to the mom, and no like knock to her, but like.
Is she still alive? Does she?
She's still alive. I don't want to go into, I guess, a lot here, but still like is struggling in a way that like my son is aware of now. And we all talk, and like we talk about empathy and compassion for people, and like you don't ever know what someone's going through. But I ended up with custody of my son.
Okay.
So that gives you kind of any kind of context for the state of the other person.
Right. You're like, okay,
they're like,
so
he's the guy. And so honestly, when I was getting custody of my son, something that stuck out to me that didn't take effect quick enough, but the judge, this like real conservative, probably still loves, like is probably diehard MAGA, like he would be best buds with Jim Crow, kind of like used car salesman of a judge, was like, I really feel bad having to choose between these two pieces of shit to give the child to. So just know, sir, that you are just a less of a piece of shit than she is.
You're like, okay.
And I was like, all right, thanks, man.
Cool.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And my lawyer, shout out to Alan Perez.
Alan Perez, that
he
sounds
was like,
lawyer.
dude, you are a smart kid. And he's like, you fucked up, but like, don't listen to him. Like, go prove him wrong. And I did eventually, but it took a lot. Like
Yeah.
So I have custody of my kid.
How old
were
you and how old was he when you got custody?
I had him alone from the time he was 3 months old and on.
John, that's crazy.
It is crazy. So, and I was in college. I wanted to be a professor, was trying to get my life turned around. Was doing pretty well in school. Honor Society, shout out Polk State.
The number of shout outs.
The Vikings.
The Vikings.
Yeah, they're not the Vikings anymore. They're the Falcons or something.
Is Vikings, you can't say that anymore.
No, I don't. It's Florida, so I doubt that's why they changed it. Yeah. I moved up to Indiana and decided not to pursue college.
Why'd you move to Indiana?
Because that's where my family's from.
Okay. Oh, right.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm with you.
So then I start working in restaurants, start doing stand-up,
stand-up?
Yeah. I did stand-up for a long time. Not very well, but like I started like running shows and then like kind of like working my way through that.
Do you do that anymore ever? Like just an open mic night?
No. It's on the radar, but.
Okay. You heard it here.
Yeah. But working in restaurants, dated around a little bit, had a lady that we lived together for a couple of years, but just really trying to piece my life back together and like prove that judge wrong. But I still kept boozing. And I would I didn't really drink around the kids, but like they'd go to sleep and I'd like smash like 6 IPAs, maybe drink some bourbon, drink honestly way too much. And then I just got fatter and fatter.
Yeah.
Right. And at some point, you know, I had someone say to me, I was like complaining about a girl I was dating, and my buddy was like, dude, he's like, you say this shit all the time. And he's like, you're cheating on her too. So like, shut up. He's like, I'm sick of listening to you complain. And that guy cut me out of his life. And that was like a real, like, that was the best thing anyone could have ever done, was having someone with boundaries be like, nah, I can't do this anymore. I can't engage in your nonsense. And then shortly after that, I was like, everything that's bad that's happened in my life, I've been there for it. Right. And maybe not all of it's my fault, but I've certainly been there for it. So like, I need to start figuring out like what I can do differently. And I still didn't listen to that, but I started being like more honest and trying to be a better person and like establishing some kind of virtues, still boozing the whole time. I would do like 30-day streaks and stuff.
Did you have more than one? Do you just have one?
Just one kid.
Okay.
And then I have a daughter. It's my stepdaughter. She's 16.
Okay.
I'm trying to keep this like tight, this story.
Doesn't seem like it's going to work.
No.
There's a lot here.
There's a lot. But meet my beautiful wife now. We start growing our family together.
How'd you meet, Alexis?
Working at a restaurant.
Okay, at Patashu?
Patashu, yeah.
Okay, just so you know, my order, hippie with the Benz, arugula, and cinnamon toast.
Okay.
Every
arugula
time.
instead of fruit.
I do like the fruit too.
Okay.
Usually my kids are with me and they'll get the fruit so I can have a little bit of the fruit, but I just love arugula.
Arugula is good. Peppery.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. Anyway.
So we meet at Patashu.
Love Patashu.
I start running and then I quit drinking for like 100 days. And then that's when I noticed for the first time, or I realized for the first time, that like I looked bad because people were like, what are you doing differently? I'm like, to me, I was like, I'm just in a relationship. And I think Alexis and I were like hungover one day at a diner, and she looked over at this older gentleman eating alone, which like old guys eating alone is sad. We both started crying, and then we were both like, we're pretty hungover. So I was like, I'm going to do this relationship differently because I love you so much. Like, let's not drink for like, let's commit to like 100 days and like, just see if we like each other sober. Because every other relationship has been like, I meet someone at a bar, we hang out, we bond over drinking. That's what I do. The lifestyle, restaurants, comedy.
Yeah.
So I started losing all this weight, looking good. I start running a little bit because I had a buddy named Kyle. Shout out, Kyle.
Which Kyle? Do I know
Kyle Kinningham. He's the guy that worked with me at Patashu.
Okay.
But he ran a little bit, so I started running with him.
Okay. And where? Like, you just go on, let's see, where would you have lived? Like, just on the Monon go?
I lived in Lawrence.
Okay.
Near Fort Harrison.
So you would go to the fort?
Yeah. So the first time I tried to run, I had just quit. I said I was quitting smoking cold turkey the night before and tried to run around the block and couldn't do it. And then I randomly Googled, do people run 100 miles? Because that's where my brain goes, like total addict behavior. Wow, I was like, I can't go around the block, but do people do 100 miles ever? And it's like, yes. And that's how I found Ritual. Started going down a self-help journey. So I did the early sobriety with Alexis and then went back to drinking and started gaining weight. COVID happened 2020 and we go on a vacation and we're near like, I think we're in Saugatuck, Michigan. And I'd already started freelancing and doing camera stuff. And I gave my kids an old camera, and my son gravitated towards it. They each had their own SD card, but he was taking pictures like crazy. The picture that definitely changed my life was when I popped the SD card in and I was like dumping their files. I saw this picture of me crossing the road, and it was like knowing my son took it, and then the perspective, because he was a little guy at the time, and it's like looking up at me.
Yeah.
And I'm sweaty, and I got man boobs, and I'm like 260. I weigh like 200 pounds right now. I was like closing in on 260. I was like, that's the fucking guy he looks up to. Is this guy who, like, I'm the one parent he has, and he has an amazing stepmom and we have an amazing support system, but like, I'm the one biological parent, and I'm supposed to be his role model, and I am. I'm his hero. I'm a shitty hero. And people say you shouldn't be hard on yourself or whatever, but like that's what worked for me, was being like, no, I have to hold myself accountable. So then I was like, I'm not going to be a fat dad. And then that's when I, shortly after that, started the run streak, switched my diet, and alcohol was the last thing to go. I was like trying to switch my diet, and I felt pretty good, and I was running every day, but I was still like hungover, like all the time.
Yeah.
So like on day 100 or whatever, New Year's, I was like, I have to get rid of booze because like it's not working for me.
It's just not.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there was a lot there.
Yeah.
I
So
hope it
the
was
run streak.
kind of
No, it's
cohesive.
It's wild. I have
Yeah.
about 1 million questions.
Yeah.
But the run streak, starting the run streak.
Mm-hmm.
When you started running, you were like, I'm going to run every day until I
No.
miss a day. Like, how did you?
No, I ran
start?
off and on. I started running in like 2018 and did a 5K. I was the kind of runner that's like, I would maybe periodically sign up for a 5K.
Okay.
And I would run like a 25-minute 5K, and then I would just go back to drinking.
Yeah.
Like I couldn't be consistent with anything.
Yeah.
And I did that off and on, even after the first marathon in 2020 that we ran on our own and they filmed the thing about, I didn't run again for like almost a year. And then I was listening to Daddy Rich Rituals podcast, and Hella Sabib was on there, and he talked about a run streak, and I was like, I'm just going to do 30 days. And then I wasn't paying attention, probably because I was boozing. I was living with my mother-in-law or something at the time. Life was crazy. But one day I was like, I wonder if I've hit the 30 days yet. And I was like, oh shit, it's day 35. Well, I might as well keep going.
Wow.
Yeah.
How do you keep track?
I have an app called Days Since.
Did you do that from the get-go? Or did you find that?
No, I had to go back and reverse engineer and be like, when was it? Because I talked about it a little bit on social media, but not a lot.
Yeah.
I had on June 18th or whatever it was, I said that I was going to do 30 days. So I went back through my stories.
Yeah. Like, okay, that's when I did it.
And for a long time, I was just like, hey, Siri, how many days has it been since this or whatever?
Right. Yeah. The number of times I Google when the Marine Corps Marathon is right now is like every day.
Why is that?
Because I'm running it.
Oh,
and so
okay,
it's like, how many days until October 26th?
Yeah,
how many days? And now
Yeah.
it's just like in my shortcuts because
Yeah.
I do it every day.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's crazy. So 15, that's over 4 years of running every day.
Mm-hmm.
And what are the parameters?
Just a mile. I have like another thing where it's like 10 minutes, but like really it's just a mile every day. It was outside
Okay.
until this winter, and there was ice. And I was like, I was like, I want to run for 10 miles, and I know I'll only run a mile if I go out and
Go out there. Yeah.
So I laid it up. I went inside, but
Yeah.
mostly outside. It was outside only for like 3 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is just okay. So are there specific stories in your mind that stand out where you like we were talking about earlier, where you're in bed and all of a sudden you're like, oh my God, did I run? What's the
all the
craziest
time.
thing you did to get it in? Or some examples of that? Because over 4 years, that's
I've run in jeans before. Before
oh,
Truett Haynes, I've run.
what is that? Who is that?
Cameron Haynes' son. He's doing all these like marathons in jeans,
Oh, Jesus.
breaking these records or
Okay,
whatever.
that sounds horrible.
Yeah, I think he's running. He's trying to break 2:30 in the marathon wearing jeans. He's getting close too.
That's nuts.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I've run in jeans. I ran in like convention center hallways a few months ago. The first day of production with this speed project, it was like 11:30, and I was like, oh God, I have to get in a mile. So I just ran circles around the gas station.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
Plenty of times I've gotten home at night, and I should have ran earlier in the morning. I was so stubborn about it, but like, they say the know thyself. So I knew putting myself on this like thing where I get momentum going it took me so long to become like a morning runner.
Mm-hmm.
Even now, like I hardly ever get up at like 5 or whatever.
Yeah, same.
But plenty of times I'd get home like after a long day and it's like 11:45 and I'm like, I gotta go. Or I haven't run during the day and I've been on like site working like a real person out in the world, and then I'll drop pasta into the boiling water, set a timer for 11 minutes, and then go run.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get back. I'm like, the house didn't burn down.
Does Alexis run?
Kind of.
A little?
Yeah.
Yeah.
From adversity. No.
Get out of here. So, okay. And then you also mentioned the diet part of it
Yeah.
because you're vegan.
Yeah. Unfortunately.
Sober vegan, just like Larry. Can you give Larry a shout
Larry
out?
quit being a vegan. And
He did?
Yeah.
Larry.
I just said
what a
that out
quitter.
loud publicly. Yeah. It's okay.
Oh, well,
It's all right.
sorry.
It's all right.
It's fine.
You know you're a quitter, Larry.
You know this.
It's okay. I still love you.
Yeah.
Shout out Larry.
Shout out to Larry.
Quitter.
Okay. And so what made you, so you're just dieting and then you decide to cut out, like, how did you discover what it was to be a vegan?
I was a
It's probably
vegetarian.
Daddy Rich.
No, I was a vegetarian in high school. Like,
Okay.
like I said, like progressive punk kid.
Okay, so you're just like, all right.
yeah, a bunch of vegetarians, and like I didn't drink alcohol or smoke weed or cigarettes or anything until I was like after high school for the first time. I was like a straight edge vegetarian kid. Once you start like thinking about what you're eating, I don't want to go on this like ethical soapbox, but once you start thinking about like what you're eating is like a thing, even if you like express that gratitude, I think it's hard to like detach from it.
Yeah.
And in my ongoing pursuit of becoming like YouTube famous, I started out doing like self-help stuff, which is crazy when I look back at those videos because I was so bloated and sweaty. But one of the things
somewhere.
I was like, well, 30-day challenges are a thing. So, vegan was on the radar for a long time. I never fully switched from vegetarian to vegan. And I went back to eating meat when I was like 19. So it was like full on, like I was eating like cow tongue, like trite soup. Like,
What is trite?
Trite is stomach lining.
No.
Yeah, it's delicious. If you've ever had like traditional pho, it's in there.
Oh, I don't know if I've ever had that.
But I was a very adventurous eater. I didn't eat anything.
Yeah,
and also
like it.
smashing. Like the last meal I had as a meat eating person was like 24 chicken wings and like a large pepperoni and like sausage. Like so disgusting. But I was gonna do the 30-day vegan YouTube video, and I never actually even made the video. But I just was thinking about it, and I watched a couple of YouTube videos. Earthling Ed was one of the guys I came across. Shout out Earthling Ed. But the realization that people do thrive on a plant-based diet, and I could be plant-based and could thrive because it's a possibility. And that means that I'm only eating meat because I'm like, oh, it tastes good. Like living with that was heavy. So then I switched, and the idea of the 30-day thing became like a lifestyle, and I feel better, but I was eating like trash. So it's like, I have to like caveat that with like, I think that, diet is such a personal thing or whatever. I don't want to like demonize anyone for eating meat, but I started feeling better pretty quickly, even before I went vegan, cutting out like cream in my coffee and stuff.
Yeah. Wild.
Yeah. Sober vegan runner. Yeah. It's wild.
Yeah. Now you're like the picture of health now.
I'm not the picture.
I mean,
I'm still skinny fat.
Whatever. I don't think so. So, okay. So you went vegan. Is Alexis vegan?
No.
Okay.
No.
I was going to say that.
I don't know why I laughed. Like, no way.
She'd never.
So the thing about diets being specific, I won't go on into all her things because that's her story to tell. But she is on like, it's called like the low FODMAP diet, and soy, and she also produces kidney stones, and soy is something that fucks her up. So it's just easier for her. And plus the kids, like we started the kids way too late if we were going to make them.
I mean, the idea.
They're like, no, thanks. Like at first they're like, I think I'm going to do that. Then very quickly they're like, that means no Chick-fil-A, no In-N-Out. If we ever go to the West Coast, it means no Culver's, Freddy's, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Portillo's. Oh.
Yeah. So I'm the only vegan in the house, but yeah, she dabbled, but not the diet thing. It was just much easier for her to like eat what the kids are eating. Yeah. She doesn't eat to the extreme that the kids do because they are like teenagers.
Right. Yeah. So races, you mentioned the 5Ks.
Mm-hmm.
At what point did you, okay, so it was 2020 was the first marathon. In between the 5Ks and the first marathon that you did, did you do any other consistent racing at all? No. I've never really gotten into a groove with like races. Yeah.
I guess the 8-hour race is the only thing I consistently do every year. Yeah.
Well, also, I feel like you're documenting a lot of them now.
Yeah.
So it's
the
like,
races that I would like to do, I'm like working
you're like,
at.
I'm working.
Which is like, dude, especially with Prairie, I'm like, I'm actually really glad I'm not doing this because that is crazy. Like the objective is to run until your body quits.
Yeah.
Some people set mileage goals, and side note, like, don't do that. Don't set a mileage goal. Just say, I'm going to run until I can't anymore. You will hit the mileage goal, whatever it is in your brain, push that down and compete.
That's good advice.
Yeah.
That's really good advice.
Once you hit it, like, you can't psychologically overcome it.
That's probably very true.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like that. Yeah. The wall.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't limit yourself by
once
that.
you said all I need to do is 50 miles, which all you need to do, but like going out for the next.
Yeah. Have you done a marathon? Not like a real, because obviously you did 26.2 miles. That's a real marathon. But have you done like a road race marathon? No. Will you ever?
Yeah. Why not?
Sure.
Yeah.
Sometime.
I don't ever want to miss a kid's sporting event. And the one time I signed up for the Monumental, they ended up bumping up my son's football schedule. So I was like, I'm not going to do this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's rough.
So maybe that's my excuse. I'm also like frugal. So I'm like going to spend the money on a race, which I don't want to encourage people to not do that.
Right.
Yeah.
But they're expensive.
They are expensive.
Yeah. Especially like a marathon. It's like hundreds of
Yeah.
dollars.
Yeah. And I'm like, the product of the millennial generation that's like, you have to monetize everything. So anytime I think about doing some kind of like run or whatever, I'm like, how can I do this on my own and make a story about it and like put it together and put it out?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I want to talk about that creation side now for a minute.
Yeah.
Because you are really into history.
A little bit. Yeah.
A little bit. I want to hear if you have some of your most favorite things that you've discovered. And like, so how do you come up with what you're creating about? Do you just like randomly see something and they're like, I want to know the history of where that came from? Or how does it work?
That question is a bit loaded and it's changed over time because when I think about learning about history, I'm thinking about it from the perspective of like, how can I tell a story and market it to an audience on the internet?
Yeah.
Like anecdotally right now, I am working on a project that's called, it's working title, but the political history of school lunch. And that came from talking about nostalgia bombs because the way I tell stories on the internet currently is I come up with something that I think will be a good thumbnail or something that like will strike a nostalgia nerve with somebody. And then how do I reverse engineer from that? So
interesting.
One night, Alexis said to me, I'm pretty sure this was her idea. Most of my good ideas come from her, but she was like, rectangle pizza. And I was like, oh yeah. She just randomly said rectangle pizza. I was like, yes. I was like, why did we all eat that? So then I'm like on Reddit and I find like a cookbook from 1988, the quantity school recipe handbook put out by the U.S. Department of Agriculture. Then I start trying to figure out that problem. And then I come across like something that has to do with like the political history. And then I start pulling that thread. And then I'm like interviewing historians and stuff. And I just keep diving and diving. And at some point I'm like, I have to stop and like put this into a package.
Yeah.
But part of the reason I like history now, and I don't know, this is like a chicken or the egg kind of scenario. But right now I feel crazy about what's going on in the country, like politically. So I'm like, I want to know what's going on. And I like learning about, if you look backwards, you can get a lot of answers about what's going on right now. I think that's always been true. But for me, it's too hard to see the forest through the trees looking at what's happening currently. And I don't know if that's a problem with like the way that the media landscape is now, because everyone has a voice and algorithms like 100% radicalize you. I mean, I proved this with a project where I started a new YouTube account, did a VPN, incognito mode. My computer knew nothing about me. And then I typed into a search bar, I'm sad and lonely. And then Jordan Peterson came up. And then within 10 videos, I was being shown alt-right, like influencers. So that's part of what's going on right now. So I don't know if it's hard to figure out what's going on right now because of the media landscape or if that's just always been true. But if you look backwards, you can see things that are similar. You can see government corruption that is documented and you're like, oh, that must be happening now in some way because it was happening 25 years ago. And all of these public funded like entities like NPR, advertising to kids that was deregulated, the food industry being like ripped apart and ultra processed food being allowed to like infiltrate the school system. People fought against that. And we still have like work to do. Like if you're someone that thinks kids should have nutritious food and they shouldn't be aggressively marketed to, and you're someone that believes in like journalist and due process, that's been challenged time and time again. And so far we've always won. Yeah. So that's my understanding of everything I just said has come from me like chasing things down. Like, why do we eat a rectangle pizza?
Yeah.
Like, why is that a thing? And then pulling the threads of culture and then realizing culture is influenced by politics and vice versa.
It's just, it's wild.
Yeah.
Talk about like overthinking and getting like overwhelmed about stuff.
I don't even know what I just said. I just went on an acid trip. I just flashback.
Like, hold on,
the government, man. Yeah.
I mean, it's crazy shit right now. Just absolutely crazy. And I don't like to think about it much, frankly. So I don't know where to go now. Okay. Let's talk about your dad.
Yeah.
Because then I also want to talk about then your son
and
what he just did
and
kind of weave that together, because I've been thinking about interviewing my parents.
Yeah, you should.
And then I saw what you did with your dad. I'm like, yeah, I really need to do that. And I keep saying, oh, well, maybe I'll do it like for his 70th birthday. We'll do, and I'm like, why am I putting it off? Because something could happen anytime.
Yeah.
So I want to talk about how you made the decision to interview your dad and a little bit about your relationship with your parents. And then, now looking at how you just ran you run 35 miles? Your kid?
Yeah, my son.
So anyway.
Yeah. So real dad, biological dad, excommunicated. I haven't talked to him for a long time. The dad I think you're referencing is my stepfather. This is something I think about step parenting all the time because recently I think about it all the time because I started calling my stepdad my dad when we found out he had cancer and was going to die. So I was like, he's like my dad now. So like when step parenting's hard for myself or Alexis, I'm like, this is the long game. We have to zoom out, right?
Yeah.
Right? They will appreciate us after we're gone. Maybe we're lucky and we get to like, because the beautiful thing about my dad getting diagnosed with esophageal cancer and realizing it was late stage and then him going to hospice was we got to be around him and go on this crazy journey with him.
Yeah.
Honestly, a lot of parallels to ultra marathons, specifically Prayer on Fire, because everyone's like huddled up and you're watching someone go through the Sufferfest, albeit my dad's wasn't going to get a plaque. He was going to...
Yeah, he didn't pay money for it.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Well, he paid a lot of money. I mean, he bought
fair.
a pack of cigarettes a day, every day for, 3 decades. And
yeah. Yeah.
but anyway, when we found out that he was going to transition, he was going to lose his battle to cancer, which also, like, I don't like people saying lose the battle to cancer because when he died, the cancer died. So if anything, it's a draw.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. It's a Norm Macdonald joke.
That's good. I've never heard that one.
But when you heard about that, it kind of puts a deadline on it, which is a real good hack. Like if you want to create something, give yourself a deadline.
Yeah.
No pun intended.
Oh.
But even then, like, there was like the, do I go and film him next week? Because he might have a year. And eventually I don't know, like something lined up and like, he kept telling me to not worry about getting the recording done. He's like, I have time. I'm like, that's not true. But it's just the way I think about stuff now. And like, I'm leaning into like, so when we found out that he was diagnosed, it was just like an immediate decision. I was like, I have to document him at some point.
Yeah.
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 And so like, how did you prepare yourself for that? Like in what you were going to document?
Quick break in the show to tell you that Lindsay Hine, the host of the I'll Have Another podcast with Lindsay Hine, and I are going to be hosting another live podcast event at the Bottleworks Hotel to celebrate the CNO Indianapolis Monumental Marathon. And our guest of honor, drum roll please, is Emily Infeld, U.S. Olympian and national champion. You guys, I cannot believe I'm going to get to meet Emily. It's insane. Lindsay will also be interviewing Emily at the expo, so stay tuned for those details. But this event will be from 4:30 to 6:30 p.m. after all the races are done on November 8th. And outside of the live podcast, you'll get to celebrate with friends, take pictures, we'll have goodie bags. There's going to be a giveaway in advance of this as well. So I will link to this in the show notes so that you can be reminded of when tickets are going to go on sale. But we only have around 100 available. Our mini marathon event in May sold out, so this one will likely sell out as well. So make sure you're reminded so you can get those. And yeah, I cannot wait to celebrate with you all. Okay, now back to the show.
So like, how did you prepare yourself for that? Like in what you were going to document? Because I feel like that's so hard to boil down into like an hour or two.
Yeah, I think honestly, all right, so think about like how often you actually just sit and listen to your parents' story. There's always some like subtext, like it's Thanksgiving or there's something you're trying to figure out, or like, for better or worse, we all have some sort of trauma we're dealing with our parents. Like everyone's doing their best, but we all fuck up. We're all fallible.
Yeah.
And I think even the best parents, you still have some like evolution you have to do with your family. Jack Cornfield, a spiritual gangster, shout out Jack. Bringing the shout outs back. Jack has a famous line of his that says, if you think you've attained enlightenment, go back home for the weekend. Right. So it's like the point of that is like we all have stuff we're working through.
Yeah.
So I don't think that most of us ever just like listen to our parents like and let them be a person.
Right.
It's like you're always looking at them through the lens of that is my dad, but like they are their own person.
Yes.
So I kind of realized that going into it, and I was like, I just want to hear about his story. His like, there's and the history stuff too, right? I'm like, there's family history inside of him that none of us have heard.
Right.
So I was just like, whatever he thinks is the most important, he'll still say to me.
Yes.
So we sat down and I was like, why am I interviewing you? And he's like, well, because I'm going to die soon. And I was like, yes. But other than that, like, who are you? Tell me about your life.
Yeah.
And I just kind of like let him tell a story for an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if you sit down with any of your parents, just be like, tell me about your life.
Yeah.
Like starting at the beginning.
Have you seen the product? Oh gosh, what's it called? I think is it Storyful or is it Story? So I bought this gift for my parents where there's a set of questions. They get emailed a question every week and then they answer the question every week and then they put it into a book, which is super cool.
Mm-hmm.
So my parents did that. My mom did a much better job than my dad.
Yeah.
My dad was a slacker. I thought he was going to be the one that would be really into it, but he was not.
Yeah.
And so I have yet to like even read that.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, oh, like I'll read it. Oh, I should start reading it like one chapter
Yeah,
like before bed. But then I'm like, well, gosh, if I don't read it while they're alive, how can I ask like follow-up questions to these stories or like understand things that I won't get to understand when they're gone? So it's just this like thing where I think about it a lot, which is
it's an investment in your future though. I mean,
yeah,
I'm hyper aware when I journal, and I've not been journaling a lot, but when I go through periods where I'm like simple, just like bullet journal, write a sentence or two about what happened today.
Okay.
I'm very hyper aware that my kids will be reading this one day.
Right.
Yeah. So I make sure to like write just crazy things in there, and I'm just joking. But,
well, I think about that with the podcast.
I'll write about how much they appreciate to me, or I know that someone's going to find this, and like maybe you won't read the book now, maybe you should, I don't know, but like it's for sure an investment in the future. Right. Like, you know, there's things in there that are like priceless, and you won't be able to obtain that, or you wouldn't be able to if they were gone and you made that decision.
Right. Yeah. So anyway, I need to have my dad on this podcast
and
my mom. My mom doesn't run anymore, but she's the reason our family runs.
Yeah.
So yeah, I find that so incredible that you did that. Is the extended interview anywhere? Do you have that?
Yeah. I haven't put it out.
Yeah.
This is like goes into the whole marketing and like putting yourself on the internet thing. I'm like, no one really cares. And not like in a mean way.
Right. But in a way that it's like, that's, you know.
Yeah.
No, I see what you're saying.
I've had a few friends be like, send me the link. I'm like, you're not going to listen to the whole thing. So I'm just trying to figure out like a way to, one, it's hard to listen to, but I'm just trying to figure out a way to like put it into something. And maybe I won't, but.
Right. You don't have to. Yeah.
Obviously. Yeah. The full thing is out there. If you want to listen to it, I'll send it to you.
Send it to me. Like, I'll be like, yeah, you're right. No, I'm.
Yeah. I'm like, what's the value of that piece of media for myself and my family? Obviously, we get to listen to him talk for 90 minutes, and that can be a blessing and a curse. But like the value at scale, or broadly speaking, maybe the value is using that media to like encourage people to record conversations with their parents.
Right.
Yeah, and you don't need to make it perfect.
Right.
You just need to have it there.
I feel like you could have a business doing that. You could be like, listen, I'll do it. I'll interview your parents.
Well, so like I'm an entrepreneur, and like I was the Lemonade like stand kid when I had a band in high school. I was the one that was like doing merchandise and stuff. So I definitely thought about legacy videos, and I'm kind of melancholic anyway. Like I love watching like really sad films and reading really sad books. I'm like big fan of emo music or whatever. So I'm like, I think I could torture myself like that multiple times a week, just listening to people's like end of life stories. Yeah.
Like especially end of life. That would be brutal.
Yeah. Then you get into this weird thing of like monetizing that or whatever. But
and then that feels weird.
Yeah. But that's a hurdle for any creative endeavor, because if you really care, it's like hard to like charge people for the thing that you would probably do for free anyway.
Yeah.
It is a a good business idea though. You should do it.
No.
You should wheel
I don't
Granny
like
into here.
Sad. Oh my gosh. Yeah. No, I couldn't handle that.
Yeah.
My emotions would not. I'd be like sobbing and trying to ask questions. Wouldn't go well. So then, so now fast forward, you're a dad and a stepdad, and you just ran 35 miles with your son. Did you run it with him?
I ran 20-ish miles.
20-ish.
Yeah, I ran like 18 miles a day before at the Butler endurance race. My buddy Kyle. Shout out to Kyle again.
Shout out Kyle.
I didn't run Butler this year for the first time in a few years, but I went out with my buddy, and his goal was 30 miles. That would be a distance PR. But then the race got shut down in the middle for like 2 hours because of weather.
The rain.
So he was at 28 miles when they cut off the time, because they didn't add time onto the race. It just became a 6-hour race. He ran past the finish line and ran another 2 miles after the clock stopped to hit his personal goal.
That's cool. That's what I would have done.
Yeah. But I did that. I went out and hung out with him and like paced him. I just talked to him the whole time. And then the next day I ran with my kid. I don't think I could have maybe done the 35, but I filmed a lot. I'm going to put something together.
That's so
with
cool.
it. Maybe I'll incorporate some of the stuff from my stepdad's interview. Yeah. I don't know. It still feels too sensitive to touch.
Yeah. So how did that come together?
So like I was saying, the Butler race, the 8-hour endurance race, where you just see how far you can run in 8 hours, that was the day before my son ran 35 miles. So like topic of conversation in the house, Dad, are you going to do the race this year? Dad, what's your distance PR? What's the best you've done on that race? And it was like a Thursday night, and I said 34 miles. And he said, I could do 35. I was like, when? Like tomorrow? He's like, yeah, tomorrow. And I said, all right, bet. And he's like, yeah, $100. And came up and like was talking to a girl at the time. So he's like real confident. Yeah. Walked over and shook my hand. And I was like, you're on the hook now. So I tweeted about it. I didn't tweet. I posted in Reddit. I posted on a Facebook ultra running group. I reached out to my friends at Average Athlete. Shout out Average Athlete. Shout out Mary. Shout out Cody. Love you guys.
I love you too.
Yeah. They sponsored him with some gear. And then TJ, shout out TJ. Got him some Mount Coast shoes.
Ooh, yeah.
And then Larry. Shout out Larry, Athletic NX, and Jake and everyone.
Quitter.
Luke. Yeah. Larry the quitter.
Just kidding.
It's so funny. You said it.
I did. I'm sorry.
So he started feeling the pressure, right? And in our house, a big part of our conversation is like, if you say something, you should be about it. Like, and you don't have to say anything. Like, if you say that you want to be the best on the golf team, then you need to put in that work.
Right.
Because you are doing yourself a disservice if you say you want to be the best at a sport and you're not dedicating your life to it.
Yeah.
Just say, I want to be average. Like, being average is so hard. Just be like, I like this sport and I want to put in a little bit of work, but I don't want it to control my life. But like, if you're saying I want to be the best, then there are other people that will die to be the best. And that's who you're competing with. Just like have an honest dialogue. Because otherwise you're living in this constant like conflict with yourself, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So my son said his words and then he shook. So I got people to sponsor him. I talked about it online to create some hype around it. We documented his journey, and he told me it was making him feel nervous, but and I was like, it should. You said a big, crazy thing. So I gave him the 8-hour cutoff, but I reached out to Cameron Balzer and asked him if he would help Malachi, because I was like, Cameron could do handstands and run backwards for 35 miles in 8 hours.
Literally.
And the proudest parent moment I had was after he ran the 35 miles in like 7.5 hours. He was on the phone talking to people, and people were congratulating him. And every single time he made sure to say, I could not have done this alone.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's like, if Cam weren't there, if my dad weren't helping me, if it weren't for Alexis and everyone, and like family and friends were coming by.
That's so cool.
Yeah. Yeah. He recovered in like 36 hours.
Of course he did, because he's 15. That's like, so yeah. Well, now what for him? Is he now like, oh, like I like this? Or
he's doing pretty on fire.
Okay.
But I don't know if he's going to train for it at all.
Well, why would he? He's 15. He can run 35 miles in 7.5 hours.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool that he'll be there. I'm really hoping to come spectate.
You should. It's amazing.
I have always wanted to go. And then watching your documentary, Chasing 100, I was like, I need to be there.
Yeah.
Because it really gives a good picture of the environment. I've never been, so I don't know.
Yeah.
So I got to be there.
We'll talk about this off air. Ask me about that marketing wise for you and Prairie. I think there's a fit there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I will try to remember to do that. You're going to have to remind me.
Okay. I'll forget.
Yeah. So you also want to run 100 miles.
I wish I wouldn't have said.
Yeah. So
yeah,
that's out there. It's on the internet. I found.
I know. Before 40.
And how old are you?
39.
Shoot, me too. When's your birthday?
December 29th.
Okay. So
I'm thinking about.
So you're going to be 40 this year.
Yeah. I'm thinking about December 27th, starting at like 8 a.m.
Okay.
Alexis, I'm sorry I've not even ran this by you, but it's my birthday.
This episode won't come out for a little bit, so you have time to just mention it.
I'll forget.
Yeah.
And then one person will message me and be like, you're doing that, right? But doing like something fundraising, I don't know, but like a 24-hour race.
Okay.
Where like the turnaround spot, the beginning and the end is like my garage and turning into like an aid station.
Okay.
Because that, if I can do 100 miles, then that's like before the wire, like under the gun, because the Average Athlete post or whatever, where I said publicly I wanted to do 100 miles before 40. Yeah.
That must be where I saw it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that will be, so December 29th is his birthday. December 27th, if I do that, it'll be cold, but it'd be fun.
Sure, it'd be fun.
I know.
Fun.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's our idea of fun, though.
Yeah.
As runners.
Yeah.
It's like, it's not fun unless you're
yeah.
bleeding. Gosh. Yeah. Okay. And so do you think, so your distance PR right now is still that 34 then?
Yeah.
That Malachi just beat?
Yeah.
That has to hurt a little.
Yeah.
And then, so now are you going to go straight to like December trying to do 100? Are you going to try to train?
Yeah, I'm going to train.
That's good.
I have this weird relationship with training. It's like mostly intuitive. I jumped up. I've just been slowly jumping up. Like when I started running, my average weekly mileage was like anywhere between 10 and 15, sometimes up to 30.
Yeah.
And right now I try to hit at least 50 miles a week. But like right now I'm like kind of feeling funky. So I'm like deloading a little bit.
Yeah.
Right now I'm trying to do like 2 weeks build and then like 1 week off. But like I don't have a coach or whatever. Yeah. I try to do zone 2, 45 minutes as much as possible. And then try to do something where I'm doing like a speed workout once a week, running until like I almost puke. Do that once a week.
Oh, no.
And then do like a threshold where I'm like, just like redlining for as long as possible. But then it's not super structured. Maybe that sounds structured. Maybe it doesn't. I think it depends on where you fall on like the spectrum of like how much you pay attention to that stuff.
Yeah. Well, I feel like training it's intuitive and that obviously you need to increase your miles over time.
Yeah.
But I think that it's really counterintuitive, a lot of it. Mainly the go slow to go fast, like having easy runs.
Yeah.
I never used to do that.
Yeah.
When I first started running.
That's a huge thing. I talk to people about that all the time. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like you have to slow down to go fast, which makes no sense.
Shoutout
it does
zone
make
2.
sense. Yeah. Zone 2. Yeah. Oh my gosh. What is my next question going to be? Because we're like, okay, no, I still have a little time.
Yeah. Do you have like a time limit on these things?
Not really.
Okay.
Just my therapy appointment.
You don't want to miss that after talking to me.
Right. I'm like, dude, this guy, that'll be the teaser for the YouTube clip. Be like, let me tell you about this guy.
Yeah. Just put it onto Instagram, no context.
Yeah.
Context.
Yeah. That would
do
be
a collab
interesting.
post.
Yeah. And, maybe that's what I need to finally make it.
You've made it.
Yes. Yeah. For the 10 people that watch this video.
We're here. So there is a documentary called Comedian about Jerry Seinfeld. After his show, he got rid of his hour. Like he was doing the same jokes for a decade. A lot of comedians will, year and a half, 2 years is kind of the life cycle of an hour of material. Some people do more, some people do less. Jerry Seinfeld didn't change his stuff for a decade. And then after his show, he was like, I need to write a brand new hour, which is pretty crazy because you're going out and comedy is like one of the most like honest relationships you can have with an audience. Because if you walk out and you're famous, they'll clap a little bit harder. They'll clap a little bit longer. Maybe they'll stand up. But if you're not funny, like people won't fake laugh. They can't do it. Maybe they will at first because they're like, is it going to get good at Seinfeld? So you have to have the humility and the awareness of your ego and how much it's in the way. And you have to overcome that to go out and like bomb. It's a crazy thing that comedians do. Like you work on stuff until it's so good and then you get rid of it and you start back over. So it's like really like respectable in that way. It's not like, stacking the bricks like a marathon training over the course of a decade.
Yeah.
It's like you're always back at ground zero. And you've got some tricks and tools and stuff. But anyway, Seinfeld, top of his game, gets rid of everything. And they're documenting this process. And then the protagonist is Seinfeld. The antagonist is a guy named Orny Adams. He's kind of a schmuck. That's how they portray him in the edit. And he's got this real chip on his shoulder. He's been working really hard and he makes an okay living as a New York comedian. And he does like club circuits, but he's not become like a household name. So he has this real like internal conflict of, when I go to the high school reunion, everyone's got the white picket fence and has a job and 401ks and this family. And they're like, what are you doing with your life, Orny? And Orny is telling Seinfeld this. And Seinfeld's like, look, man, like, this is it. Like, you have made it. And he tells him this story about the Glenn Miller Band. And they're going to go perform somewhere. And it's like dead winter. It's like middle of Nebraska. And they're driving and the bus breaks down. And they're sitting and they're waiting. And the band realizes, man, we're going to have to walk. Because we have a gig. We don't get paid if we don't go to the gig. So they start taking the path of least resistance, the straight line to the venue, to this town. And they're walking through this field, and it's like cold, it's wet, it's a little muddy. And then they walk up to this house, and it's like a Thomas Kincaid. Beautiful little cabin, little plume of like smoke coming out of the chimney. And the trumpet player and the tuba player, they walk up and they look through the window. And there's a family, they're having hot cocoa. It's like all warm and cozy, all the feels. And the tuba player looks at the trumpet player and they're like, so disgusting. And the tuba player's like, how do people live like that? Right. And they go to the show. So it's like, if you're going to be in this thing, if you're going to be a creator, like you're in it, right? You've decided you can't live like the other people. So like you've made it. And there'll be ups and downs the whole way, but like you just have to accept like you are the person outside of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's really good too.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could be my therapist.
No, dear God.
Can you imagine?
Maybe for better help.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
So
I don't
what
even
is-
know if BetterHelp is actually a bad company. I've just heard
I have
it
no
is.
idea.
Yeah,
No
yeah.
idea.
Yeah.
I just know that I need to be in front of a human being for sure.
Yeah.
Is that what they? I don't.
It's
that's what
it's all
Virtual, right?
telephonically. Yeah.
That's what I thought.
Virtual. Yeah.
That's what I thought. Okay, so for Prairie on Fire this year,
Mhm.
Malachi's doing it.
Mhm.
What does that look like for you? And
What do you mean?
tell people what it is too, because I don't think we covered
Prairie on
that.
Fire is a backyard ultra. And if you've not heard of a backyard ultra marathon, it's a last man standing or last person standing. I don't know how I feel about calling it last man,
Right.
right? Generally referred to as a last man standing race. Everyone lines up with Prairie on Fire specifically. You start at 8 a.m. Everyone lines up. The gun goes off, and then you have an hour to run 4.16 miles. You get back to your spot, and then you wait until the top of the next hour. Gun goes off. Everyone runs. If you don't get back in time or you don't feel like going, then you quit. And the race is over when everyone has quit except for one person. It's 4.16 miles because if you take 100 and divide it by 24, so 24 hours, you get 4.16 miles. It's designed so that way every 24-hour cycle of the race, 100 miles is being achieved. So I think the world record is like 498 miles, however many yards that translates to. But the thing about that is that the first place person, they could only get to that mark if they have the second place person with them. After the second place person quits, you do one more yard and then you quit.
Right.
I feel like it's so hard to explain this.
That's interesting.
Yeah,
I didn't
yeah.
know that.
Yeah. So
Makes sense.
I don't want to say Phil Gore, but Phil Gore is someone that's really good in that space. So like, let's say, for example, he is the one with the record. There is a second person that carried him the whole way.
Which is wild.
Yeah. So it becomes like this team sport, which is like the through line of the
Interesting.
Chasing 100 documentary is that
Yeah.
it's
right.
it's a team sport. Whether people realize it or not, everyone's pushing each other. And like
Totally.
people will sacrifice more for the greater good than they will for themselves.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
becomes this very beautiful microcosm of life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what I mean when I ask, like, what's it going to be like for you? Will you have a tent for Malachi? Do you go in like MTC spot?
Oh man.
Then are you going to have are you going to run some with Malachi? Do
Yeah.
you
I
go into it planning, or you just kind of like show up and be like,
I have a media strategy.
Okay.
And I can't talk necessarily about what that is now because we want to save the announcement for what, I don't know if it's a sequel, but what that will be.
Okay.
So there's a media initiative. I kind of just have my gear laid out on a table, like mise en place for a chef. And then I film and see what happens. I'll have some people that I'm following. And since it's like a closed loop, it's pretty easy to keep track of people.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And then with Malachi, I mean, he just said 3 days ago that he wanted to do it. He's like, I want to do that race. And I was like, all right, text TJ. And I was like, you're signed up. He was like, oh, I was like, you said it. You said it. So you're doing it. He's like, okay, let's fine, Dad.
Yeah. You're like, okay, I guess.
He'll probably hang out with that crew. I mean, I consider those people, they're family, I guess, right? At this point.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to integrate Malachi into it, my actual family as much as I can.
Yeah.
So I think he'll be hanging out with that crew.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And him and Cam, I think it'll be interesting to see them interacting now because I feel like, I mean, they spent 8 hours together.
Right.
Yeah. He was there when Malachi was absolutely broken.
Yeah, that's interesting.
And I guess looking back, it's like, I don't know how many people I trust to be with my son when he has moved his body for 6 hours. The 35-mile thing, Malachi, my son, had not ran one time in the last year. So it's like, I don't trust a lot of people to be with him when he's completely broken 6 miles into a run.
Right.
But like, I knew Cam had him.
Yeah.
It's a wild person.
He's a wild
Yeah.
person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wild
Absolutely.
and free man.
I mean, totally.
Yeah.
And okay, so when you run 100 miles before turning 40, because you're going to, you said
Yeah.
it.
You're going to come out and run too.
Sure.
Yeah.
If I'm not somewhere warm.
Yeah.
I usually try to go somewhere warm
Yeah.
around that time.
That's right.
But if I'm here, I'm in. I said it. So how will you celebrate that?
I don't know. I'll probably like make a video where I'll be like, I'm awesome, see? But then I'll be like, I don't like to celebrate, but then I'll celebrate in the most like grotesque way possible.
With a cat?
Yeah, with a cat. Yeah. No, I just mean like I say I don't like birthdays and stuff, but then I'll put myself into like a mini documentary or something.
Yeah.
No. I had not made a documentary about myself. That would be ridiculous. I don't know. I'll probably just hang out with my wife and like watch like the Christopher Nolan Batman series.
There
or
we go.
something.
Okay.
Yeah.
Woo.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Probably won't want to do much.
Probably
'Cause,
not.
Yeah.
That's
Even
a
if I
lot.
stack miles, I feel like, it's going to be hard.
Really hard.
Yeah. I said it. So there
There
it
you
is.
go. I'm still not an ultra marathoner.
Yeah.
And after starting this podcast, I now want to do that, I
Yeah,
think.
just do it Sunday.
Right.
Yeah.
No, thank you. Yeah. I'm going to have my kids I'm bringing the girls. We're going to cheer. We're going to do some chalk art. Like,
Oh, at the prairie.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
wait. Okay.
I
yeah,
said
'cause
Sunday.
What's today?
Today is the 11th.
Okay.
Or the
12th.
12th.
Oh,
The
yeah.
12th. It's
Okay.
Tuesday.
Right.
I was saying just this Sunday, just
Just
go out
like
for
go
like
on, do it.
6
I was like,
hours.
put Sunday. And I was like, is it this Sunday? I'm like, wait a minute.
Yeah,
What's
yeah.
today? Is
No.
it September?
Yes, September
You just did that to
6th.
me. I was
Sorry.
freaked
No, I was
out.
just saying just randomly go out Sunday.
And just run an ultramarathon. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Run it, walk it. That's what people do for the first ones.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think I'll do the full amount eventually.
Okay.
Because that one to me is so approachable.
Yeah.
And it's on the Monon, which I love.
Yeah.
Some people don't like that. I love just like set it and forget it. Just run straight.
Yeah. I'll text TJ right after this and have him put you down.
Yeah, he knows.
Be like, Ali said, put her down. Yeah.
Not for next year. I don't know. Well, I turn 40 next July.
Yeah.
So it'll be before I'm 40. Maybe I need to do it before I'm 40.
You're
Anyway,
overthinking it.
I don't know. Now I'm overthinking it. I'm like, how could we do this? So, okay. Now I'm going to ask you the end of the podcast questions.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember what they are?
No.
Excellent. So the first one is, what's your favorite running song and or mantra?
I don't listen to music when I run unless I'm on a trip. Very rare. But like favorite mantra is mood follows action. It's a Daddy Rich thing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like song. I'm like, I don't. I'll tell you a very quick story about a recent experience with music and the catharsis and like running and spirituality and whatever. Right after I found out Ozzy passed, my son, his first concert was Black Sabbath. I took him when he was like 7 or whatever. So I just put in headphones and I listened to Paranoid the whole way. I was like, I'm running until the album's over. And you know, I'm a softie, but like I cried like most of that run off and on. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you watch the show?
Yeah, I'm actually rewatching the show right now.
Yeah. I didn't ever watch it really consistently.
Yeah.
So I've thought about, where can you watch it now?
On YouTube.
Okay.
Yeah. And Ozzy, like, so I've done some things that, you know, I am not proud of. A lot of stuff I've had to really work through the guilt of and shame of. And Ozzy also has done some crazy shit, and he still gave so much to the world. Mm-hmm. There's also, you can make this argument that like he got away with doing so much because he was like very wealthy, and that's definitely something that you can't overlook. But he also was someone that like kept loving, and I feel like if he wasn't that person, not that many people would have shown up to his funeral. Because it's like, think about the reaction to Hulk Hogan dying, right? There's been some pushback and animosity to that. There's been some like dark jokes that I've been seeing, at least in my algorithm.
Yeah. And
Ozzy has a crazy past, but he gave so much, and I've not seen a whole lot of like, you know, fuck that guy.
Right. No, I haven't either. It's
so that to me is just like, if I just keep giving and being of service, I can like, you know, it doesn't mean that what I have done in my past is okay, but I can let that go and I can, you know, have love for myself so that way I can keep giving love.
Yeah.
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 And that's what I was thinking about when I was listening to Paranoid and crying on the Midland Trace. Iron Man. Yeah.
I think you've done such a good job of becoming somebody that your son can look up to, because undoubtedly
that's easy to say from the outside. You're not around me all the time, but
I'm not. But like you, from what I glean, even just surface level, like it's you. I mean, that's a lot of freaking work to change all the things that you did.
Yeah.
And showing him that, like,
it's actually a little bit of work to be a good person and consistently do it.
I mean,
yeah. Anyway, sorry.
Yeah, no. Anyway,
thank you for saying
that.
That's so kind of you to say.
And then, okay, my second question is, what is your next finish line or milestone? Which now I kind of already know. You're going to turn 40 this year. That's a big ass milestone.
Yeah.
I'm next July, so I have some time to process
that. And then I'm working on the Prairie on Fire doc for this year.
Yeah. Okay.
And I'm like, is it a sequel? I don't know if that's a sequel, so I'm thinking about that. And then I want to keep growing my YouTube channel, and I want to keep figuring out how to do that. And pie in the sky with that is that I have like a big enough presence that I can like start doing like a merch thing or whatever.
Ooh,
like where I sell like history t-shirts, and then like the profits go towards like helping people rehabilitate their lives after reincarceration.
Yeah.
That's like a company
cool.
I work with. Yeah. Hank Green and John Green, local legend. They have the Awesome Socks Club, and then they do coffee and stuff. And I can't remember what their profits go towards, but it's like their charity that they do.
Yeah.
So I would like to do that. That's like the next big like career milestone.
Right. That's cool. Yeah. I've actually thought a lot about that for myself, for the podcast, for Athlete Bouquets. It's like, I would so much rather just continue to just give with that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because that's so meaningful, to your point. Like just,
Yeah. Yeah.
Sweet. We did this.
We did.
So thanks to everybody who listened, who made it
Shout
through.
out.
Shout out to you,
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
You know, the 10 of you. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
And happy running. That's how I always end. Happy running.
Happy running.
Okay.
Yeah.
I hope it recorded.
I do too.
If you enjoyed this episode of Finish Lines and Milestones from Sandy Boy Productions, please go share, rate, review. You know the drill if you listen to podcasts. And I tell you what, if you go and you review on your platform of choice, send me a screenshot. I'm Allie, A-L-L-Y-T, Brett, B-R-E-T-T. That's Allie T. Brett _runs on Instagram. If you send me a screenshot of your review, I will mail you a free sticker of your choice. And if you didn't know, I do make stickers. I have a business, Athlete Bouquets. Anyway, if you do that, I'll send you a sticker. I appreciate you so much, and I will see you again next week. Bye.